G'day guys, Merry Christmas. Hope you guys had an epic holiday season, and what better way than to celebrate the Christmas time Supercharged V8 top 10 list. It popped into my mind. I had to see what it was, who was the champion, who started the list, who came through, and man, all of these cars are just so sick. So let's kick this off. I love a good V8, especially when it's supercharged. Coming in at number 10, it is the FPV GT Rpec. And guys, there was only like 350 of these things ever made. I reviewed this a couple of years ago, and these were claimed as Australia's fastest Ford ever to be made. And I think that still stands today. And as a result, it's on the top 10. This thing was factory. It had a 5-liter supercharged V8. It made 450 horsepower. But when you put this thing on the dyno, it was actually making closer to 560 horsepower. It's rear-wheel drive, and it had the 6-speed ZF auto. This was the result.
Now, 0 to 100 in this car, claimed in about 4.5 seconds, I believe, which is matching the GTF. And this does have launch control, apparently. So what you're meant to do is foot hard on the brake, foot hard on the gas, should hold at about 3,000. It is fast. It is ridiculously fast, this car. Let's have a look at the jaggy time here. So we got a 0 to 100 there of 5.3, which I think we could improve because this didn't go to 3,000 RPM. And just on that time, we will mention we do have 2 blokes sitting in the back. So to get a 5.3, I believe it was, that's still really impressive.
Now coming in at number 9 was that XR8 guy. So he had a XR8 FG Ute. And this thing had a quad cam, V8, the Boss 290, but he had slapped a supercharger on this particular one. Making 600 horsepower at the wheels through a 6-speed manual. So that really was a true testament to get on the list in a manual. And on the 85, rear-wheel drive, this was the result.
Now guys, 0 to 100 was done in 5.2 seconds, and for a manual on a back road, far out. That's impressive power. Yeah, this thing at a drag strip, right tires, man, you'd be touching 4s, man. It's quick.
Now coming in at number 8 was the HSV GTSR W1 replica. And look, I know we may have made a bit of a factual error in this video, thinking it was a legit GTSR. It wasn't, clearly, but nevertheless, this was an epic build. It was just all W1 parts, full W1 interior, the outside. It was running 22-inch GTSR style wheels. So to be on the list with 22s, that shows you this thing had performance. It had a supercharged LSA under the bonnet, tuned, full exhaust, sounded $1 million, and it's rear-wheel drive, of course, with a 6-speed auto. And man, it's quick.
Yo, the traction is just non-existent in this thing, man. But geez, it absolutely rips. This thing absolutely rips. Oh man, what a rush. Let's have a look at the time. Now look guys, 0 to 100 was done in 5.2 seconds, and that is pretty flash. You know, look, I think these were claimed at like 4.6, and honestly, if you had the proper meat on these tires, the right rim size on the right road, this would easily be in the 4.5 second range, like without a doubt.
Now coming in at number 7, we have got the 450 kilowatt VESS LSA Supercharged. And again, this was hand built in the bloke's garage, all through him in his wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair, truly inspirational stuff of what he'd done to this car. Worth a watch. Click the pop-up banner right here. So it's got a 6-liter L98 LSA supercharger, all the supporting mods, 450 kilowatts at the wheels, built 6-speed auto rear-wheel drive, and look, this actually had the exact same time as the previous GTSR replica, but he had a slightly better approach angle. The previous car was slightly downhill, so that's the reason that this car is at number 7.
There we go.
Was that second?
That was second.
Yeah, right.
And I think if we were in first, it would have been, and that was about half pedal too, mate. So yeah, you gotta be so cautious in this thing, eh? Now guys, I am pretty impressed with this. We just did a 5.2 0 to 100, and let's remember, like, I've only just been driving this thing for about half an hour, and it is tail happy. So I think a 5.2. So we started in second and just feathered this thing to 100. And 5.2, we gotta remember, all the stereo you got in here, all the sound deadening, you said, you know, there's nearly like a couple hundred kilos of deadening on this. The leather interior, 2 guys in here, like a 5.2 in this big heavy Holden is quick. So that's pretty impressive, man.
Now coming in at number 6, we have got SENI. And when I visited New South Wales last year, we caught up with this car. It's a 2015 HSV Senator Signature Series VF Gen 2. LSA supercharged under the bonnet, and again, 770 horsepower at the wheels this was making. 557 kilowatts, had a T400 box, still rear wheel drive, bags all around, custom interior. The thing was weighing, you know, close to 2 ton. And this is still what the time was. So impressive.
That 0 to 100, guys, was done in 5.1 seconds. And hey, I think you can take that because, again, just on the back road, the power this thing's pushing, you know, these things were heavy too, you know. We're talking 1.8 ton. You know, it's not a light car, big on the road, but if you had the drag strip, you had a perfect launch with some good rubber, this thing would be in the 4s for sure.
All it wants to do is spin.
Oh, it does, I know. Yeah,
That's half the issue.
absolutely.
Now coming in at number 5, we have got a Mustang on the leaderboard finally. And this was a 1-of-1 DJR Mustang, built by Herod here in Australia, fully built motor. So the 5-liter V8 topped off with a 3-liter Whipple supercharger. This thing was making 900 horsepower, 1,000 newton meters of torque, full cage, bucket seats, harnesses, and its rear wheel drive still just bonkers. This thing was bananas at a 10-speed auto, and yeah, the time, it just speaks for itself.
So much traction lost.
Now guys, 0 to 100, we just did a 4.5 seconds, so 4.5. Look, I seriously think this thing could get in the 3s. I really do, but it's challenging out on this road, and you just got to figure out kind of what way to launch it. So if you had heat in the tires, a nice surface, you know, I think this thing's gonna be in the 3 seconds for sure. Like it's just ridiculous, man. It's crazy fast.
Now coming in at number 4 was one of the coolest Commodores we've probably ever featured on the channel, and this was a supercharged VFSS. This thing had a fully built motor, just almost all the fruit you could think of was thrown at it. At the time when he built it, was the largest blower he could put it on, and this thing was making 800 wheel horsepower, rear wheel drive, 6-speed automatic. The noise was just incredible, and honestly, I was blown away by the time too.
Now 0 to 100, guys, was done in 4.5 seconds, and that is a phenomenal time. You know, these things are big, heavy vehicles, you know, 1.7 ton. And 2 of us in this car, just on a back road, easy, you know, feathering that pedal too. That is really good stuff. So, yeah, I'm impressed.
Now coming in number 3, we have reached the top 3 in bronze position here. It is none other than the XR8 Holy Grail. And this thing, again, it's legendary here in Australia. They were supposed to make 100. They only ever ended up making 47 of these things. And they're essentially an XR8 tuned and done up by Premcar. And Premcar used to be FPV. And we all know what FPV is. So rear wheel drive again, 5-liter supercharged Miami. But this thing has been cracked open to make over 650 horsepower now. And for those of you who are paying attention, that's more than the HSV W1. And this particular one was the 6-speed ZF, and this was the time.
Now, guys, we have just pulled over here now, and 0 to 100 was done in 4.5 seconds. And that was literally my first attempt. So that's bloody impressive. I believe these were claimed at like 5 seconds or something without the kit. So 4.5 seconds in a over 1.8 ton big FGX. Yeah, goddamn, that's quick, man. That's really impressive.
Now coming in at number 2, I cannot believe this has taken the silver spot. The silver medal goes to a 2.8 ton truck. It's none other than the Ram TRX. This badass ute from America makes 700 horsepower through a supercharged Hemi V8. Straight out of a Hellcat, and my God, again, all-wheel drive, launch control, just 2.8 tons. I cannot believe how quick this thing was, and when I tested it, I didn't want to get out of it. So this is the time, and again, this wasn't even in ideal circumstances. This would go much quicker. I guarantee it. It's mind-boggling.
Wow, it is a good thing this truck has got some brakes, because you need them. Jesus. 2.8 tons of just pure hauling ass. And let's have a look. That even felt quicker to me. And yeah, it felt quicker because it was quicker. 4.4 seconds. Was slightly downhill that time, but oh my word. That is so ridiculous. I have been in stage 2 tuned Audi RS3s that do 4.4 seconds. And this is a f***ing pickup truck. Holy hell. 2.8 tons of just, yeah, kicking ass, this thing. Wow.
Now coming in at number 1, the gold place, the absolute fastest supercharged V8, 0 to 100 we have ever tested. And it's a recent video. It was the last one I just posted. For those of you guys who are paying attention, it was the daily driven Holden VFS SSV. And this was, I'm not even joking, a daily for the owner. He drives this every day. It had drag radials on the back. It's rear wheel drive again. It's a Holden Commodor VFS SV, and it's got a fully built 6-liter V8 up front with a supercharger on it. And This thing was pushing 850 wheel horsepower, had a 6-speed automatic, and again, for a daily driver, it's just insane.
You got it. And you actually went up slightly, so
Uphill.
only by 1.8 degrees, but
Yeah.
a valid draggy run 2, 4.36.
Getting there.
Not bad at all.
We're getting there.
That's quick.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. That's
Absolutely quick.
the fastest Commodor.
Yeah, I believe so. It is. Absolutely, it is. Yep. Fastest Commodor we've timed on the street.
That'll
Yeah,
do for now.
that's crazy.
Definitely more in it if I can.
Oh, I believe it. You know, this would be in the 3s for sure on the track.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there it is, guys, the top 10 supercharged V8s we have ever tested 0 to 100. And guys, comment below your favorite one. Let me know what other list you want to see in the future. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. A Happy New Year coming. We'll see you on that next video.